After I retired from snowboarding, I got married, I had my kids. I actually did go back to accounting. And, you know, it's a good job. Being an accountant's a good job. It opens a lot of doors, but public practice really wasn't the place for me. Because when I was back in snowboarding, when I got political about things, I could turn the dial a little bit by making a policy change here or working on something there. So the policy change of getting an athlete at the table. So I wanted to be able to make a bigger change to more people and to make their lives better. So I feel like being on city council was the thing that was going to help me make the community even better. There are many families in Richmond with half Asian kids, so where one parent is Asian and one parent's Caucasian. And so the kids are half. We used to joke that we were half Chinese, half white, and all Canadian. My dad, Charlie, he is Chinese Canadian. He was born in Flin Flon, Manitoba, actually. But his father came from Guangdong, came from Hoi Ping in 1910. So he came over very early. He ended up opening a restaurant in Flin Flon, Manitoba, where he served the miners. So 24 hours a day that restaurant was operating. Coming to Chinatown always makes me think of my grandfather and how it was when he first came to Canada, and how, you know, of course he came to Chinatown in Vancouver where there was a small Chinese population, but they all came together, starting their businesses together, selling foods that were familiar, the siu bao that you get on the street, and you're just able to have that taste of home. And I think that's the important thing, is to come together as community and to feel what it's like, to talk your language, to share your stories, and then to support each other in the new life together. My dad used to get into fights when people would call him a chink. That was a thing back in the days. And so when he married my mom's Caucasian, they decided to move to Richmond. And I found out quite a bit later that the reason they chose Richmond is because it's very multicultural. My grandfather came over 111 years ago to Canada. And so, yeah, things were different. I never got called a chink. People rarely made fun of my last name. You know, I didn't grow up with that kind of racism or that kind of treatment in Richmond. It was a safe place. It was a welcoming place. What I'd like to say to the young generation is, aim high, work hard, and give back. You are the same as everybody else. So you have the same opportunities to get ahead and to show your value and your worth. Well, to me, the Olympics it's the pinnacle, it's the best. It's the opportunity to compete at your best, and compete against the best. And so it's everybody coming together in friendship, in sport. And I think when you have that opportunity, you have a good competitive field. Everybody pushes each other to get the best out of themselves and each other, right? So it's not just, I want to totally beat you. I want us to both compete at our best, and I'd like to beat you for sure. But if your best is better than my best that day, that's awesome too. It's to see what the best can be. And I think that's what we need to tell our kids, that you are more than that result that day. That result is a measure of your ability, but it doesn't define who you are. Being an Olympian is an attitude, and it's a behavior, and it's part of who you are, and it helps define you. But it's being the Olympian, the person that plays fair, that is honest, that has integrity, that works hard, and perseveres and has resilience. Those are the things that make you that person. And so I think the fair play, the honesty, the hard work, integrity, and just showcasing what the sport can be, I think is so important for the Olympics. And I think that's why the Olympics is important. We set aside all our political differences, we set aside all these things. We set the groundwork for what fair play is going to be, and we show up and we compete. And I think that's what's important, is getting the best out of everybody. In leading up to the 2022 Beijing Olympics, or Beijing, Erling, I'd like to wish all the athletes and all the competitors to do their very best. And I think that's what the Olympics is about. Us all getting together, seeing everybody do their best. You know, I have friends who are now coaching for China and introducing sports to China and helping those kids be the best that they can be. And I think this is an opportunity for the world to come together and see everybody perform and compete.